Hi, I'm Alex Perry. I'm one of the software calibrators here at Dinan Engineering, and today I'm going to show you how to install a DINANTRONICS on a 6-cylinder car. You'll be removing the negative terminal on the battery. Here on the M235, it's located under this cover where a spare tire would normally go, but this car does not have a spare tire. So you'll simply lift up on this cover. As you can see, the battery is right there. With a 10mm socket, undo the bolt that holds the negative terminal on the battery. Once this is loose, wiggle the terminal until it becomes loose enough to lift straight off. As you can see, I've removed this and placed it off to the side so that it cannot spring back and touch the negative post while you're working on the rest of the vehicle. This one here is a 6-cylinder harness. You can tell by the white designation on this piece right next to the two DINANTRONICS connectors. Each DINANTRONICS harness has two BMW connectors. These are 58-pin connectors, as well as the female side for the BMW harness to connect to. So first thing you want to look at for your car is you're going to take off your engine cover to look at and see if you have a mechanical or electronic wastegate. Simply do this by lifting up on the corners of your engine cover. There's one clip here, and one clip here. If you just give it a nice little tug, it'll all come up. Now you will look at and see if you have an electronic or mechanical wastegate. Down here on the passenger side by the exhaust manifold, you will see either a mechanical vacuum diaphragm or a electronic wastegate connector. With this, you will either have to have the mechanical wastegate tune or the electronic wastegate tune. It is the same harness for both cars. So if you look down there, there's a vacuum pod that you can see with a vacuum hose running to it, or a black plastic actuator with an electronic connector. On this car is an M235. It has an electronic wastegate. So we will be installing the M235 electronic wastegate tune on it. Next thing to do is spray your Dinan connectors with the contact cleaner that we provided you in your kit. This connector lubricant will help fill the microscopic voids in your connections. Through the multiple miles that your car will receive, the connections will have slight vibration and cause imperfections in the two materials, and this will fill those voids and help protect that from happening. So you will take and spray each connector, your two BMW connectors, your two 58-pin Dinan connectors, as well as your two DINANTRONICS connectors. Be generous with the spray. Using too much never hurts. As you can see here on the BMW connector, you will spray and make sure you get the whole entire connector, and be generous. And here I've done the second one as well. Next is the two 58-pin Dinan connectors. Remember, be generous. Now you will remove the BMW harness from the DME. The DME is located towards the rear of the car from the throttle body. If you look down there with a flashlight, there are 3 connectors down here on the BMW DME. From the front of the car, they are 3, 2, 1, and each connection has this same plug like the Dinan harness has. You will start off by removing the third one in line, number 1, and work your way back 1, 2, 3. You will push down on this tab on the top of the connector and push the locking mechanism away, and this will raise your connection and you can lift off the connector. Once you have successfully removed this first connector, place it out of the way, as you will not need to put it back on until it's the very last connector. Next you will do 2B, the second connector. Place this one out of the way as well, as you will need to get to the third one and install the third connector on the DINANTRONICS harness before you put that connection back. As you can see, I've removed the third connector here. It's black in color, and placed it out of the way so I can install the DINANTRONICS harness. Each DINANTRONICS harness is labeled with a 3B and a 2B. You'll first install the 3B closest to the front of the car. The 3B and 2B connectors are identical. They have a keyway that will not allow you to put 3 into 2 or 2 into 3. First, install connector 3B that has the orange zip ties. You'll do this by releasing the locking mechanism so that it is away. And then if you push down on your connector, this locking mechanism will pop up, and then you can finish that process and lock the pin in. You can test by pulling the connector away from the DME to make sure that it is locked in. Next, do 2B. Now you can reinstall the first one. That is the black connector that does not have the two larger pins like 2B and 3B have. Now those three connections are back on the DME. From here, you will install the 58-pin Dinan connectors onto the BMW harness. The orange zip tie is 3B, as you remember. That goes with the black connector of the BMW harness. Make sure that your two big pins line up and simply push this together. Let the locking mechanism move, and then finish the procedure. Pull on this connection to make sure that it is in. Next, you will do the white one, that is 2B, that goes to the white connector. This connector on the BMW harness has wires that come out from both sides, so you will not be able to move it very far. So it can cause some difficulty. But just make sure that you have both big pins connected and in line, and you'll be fine. As you can see, I've successfully installed both connectors, 2B and 3B, and have pushed these connections out of the way so that I can route the wires up to the DINANTRONICS box. The DINANTRONICS box will run on the passenger side underneath the windshield, underneath the lower cowling. Run the rest of your DINANTRONICS harness across the top of your cowling and underneath this weather stripping. This will help prevent water corrosion from getting inside of our harness and causing problems. As you can see, you can simply lift up on the weather stripping and place the DINANTRONICS harness underneath it. Next, we will install our DINANTRONICS box and remove these three 10mm connections by turning it 1/4 turn to the right. Depending on which vehicle you have, if you have a 2 series, a 3 series, a 4, or a 5, this locking mechanism tab here is different on all of them. Some have a push pin, some have these push clips, and some have a nut. Make sure that you address this for your particular car. As you can see on our M235, this has a push tab, so I will just squeeze this and lift up on it, and then pull this piece and place it out of the way. As you can see here, I've already installed Velcro on the bottom of my DINANTRONICS box. The other piece will be installed on top of the fuse box that's here underneath that panel that you just removed. You will simply place the DINANTRONICS box there, and the Velcro will hold it. Now, you have two DINANTRONICS connectors. Connector A, which is orange in color, connector B, which is black. You will install A and then B. You'll simply do this by plugging the connector in and locking the mechanism by pulling it towards the wires. Then proceed to do this with connector B. Next, you have this power lug. This is power. On this harness, it's a black wire, but it's actually power, not ground. This will go right here to your terminal. Undo your terminal lug with a T47 Torx. If you do not have this, a T45 Torx will work. Place your ring terminal around the power lug and reinstall the nut. Make sure to tighten this down. All this excess wire is here because this harness fits for multiple cars. The 2, 3, 4, 5, also European and right-hand drive modules where this power lug is on the driver's side of the car. On all US version left-hand drive, the power lug is here on the right side of the vehicle. This here is a EO label that is in every DINANTRONICS kit. One thing that is special about our piggyback is that it is the only CARB certified for sale in California piggyback, legal in this state. This EO label needs to be installed next to your DINANTRONICS unit or on top of your DINANTRONICS box. Now that your DINANTRONICS box is installed, you may reinstall your lower cowling cover piece. Here in the middle there is a single tab that will fit right over the end of this lower cowling piece. Simply slide the cover underneath that tab, pull it out slightly on the left side, and slide it up so that these 3 tabs slide underneath this cowling piece. Next, you will install your engine cover. You will start by placing it in this back groove. As you can see, it follows the contour of your engine cover. Place that in the back of your engine cover in that contour. Place it around your engine filler neck. There are 4 locations where it bolts down, one in each corner. So push down at each corner and you will feel it click in. See, now your engine cover is installed. That will complete the underhood procedures for your DINANTRONICS install. At this stage of the game, you will check to see if your car has any faults. You can do this with a generic OBD2 scanner, one that you can get at your local automotive shop, or soon to be available will be a Dinan OBD2 scanner. Your OBD2 connection on your 2, 3, 4, and 5 series is under the dashboard in line with your dead pedal. As you can see, the big side of the OBD2 connector will be closest to the outside of your car, and the small side will be closest to the inside of your car. You can reach under there and feel for the OBD2 connection with your fingers to find out where the location is. As I found it, the OBD2 connector will go straight up into that port, and your OBD2 scanner will turn on as soon as you connect to that. My OBD2 scanner has turned on. I will now ignition on the car but not start the vehicle. With this OBD2 scanner, I can look at stored faults that I have within the car. And as this populates, I have a green check mark and I have 0 code stored. With this scanner, I can look at the different modules that this car has, as well as clear faults if there are any faults. Now that you have checked faults and there are no faults, you may proceed to start the vehicle.